All right. Welcome. I'm James Alba Jr., husband to an amazing wife, co-founder of the world's cutest twins, founder of the Kabila Founder Mental Health Fund, which provides free therapy and mental wellness resources for founders, co-author of the book Burn Bright Not Out, Shattering the Silence Around Mental Health in Tech Startups, and now the host of a new podcast, the Founder Exhale Podcast. Tell us where you're coming in from in the comments. Also, as we get into this, please drop your questions in the comments and we will do our best to get to all of them, I promise. What am I excited about right now? Two things I'm excited about. We're doing these founder mental health walks called the Founder Exhale Walks. We got 9 pilot cities going right now. And I think I'm about to add another one here in a minute. Emailing with somebody right now. Super excited about this. It's just, no agendas, no pitch decks, just founders moving, connecting, and prioritizing their well-being. Super excited about that. You can learn more about that if you go to where I thought I had a banner to show you there. I don't. Oh, you could go here. You can go to thefounderexhale.com. You can learn more about that. What else am I excited about? I'm excited about, as I mentioned, I just started a new podcast. So excited about that. So my podcast, I interview exited founders and talk about their mental health journeys. My last episode, the first episode, I interviewed Grant Wins. He's the 4-time exited founder, CEO of Unit Health, which is a mental health and wellness AI app. I use it every day as my mental health companion. Grant actually came through and gave like $60,000 worth of gifts to the founders of my ecosystem. It costs $200 to use the Unit app, but if you go to thefounderexhale.com, you can go ahead and look at the episode and look in the show notes, and you can try Unit if you want. I love it. I use it in between my mental therapy appointments, and it's great. Also, so please share this on your social media channel and invite your friends to join the conversation. So what I do on this show, as you know, is introduce you to amazing humans doing interesting work. Today is no exception. I have a really great and awesome guest, and I can't wait for you to meet her. Please welcome Jules. Jules is the founder of the Jules Collective, a trauma-informed wellness consultancy for high-performing leaders and entrepreneurs. She holds an MPH from Emory University and is an ACE certified fitness and Pilates instructor. Over 15 years, she's led health campaigns and activations for companies like Microsoft, AT&T, NBC Universal, and Meta, and spoken at South by Southwest, Avant South, and the Carter Center. Jules currently works with fast-growing startups as a fractional wellness officer and hosts the podcast Healed and Hold. Please help me welcome Jules. What up, Jules?
Hey.
Good to see you.
Great to see you. Yes. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So today we're going to be talking about a really important topic, about founders and burnout. We want to talk about how can founders avoid burnout. So, let's get into it. Oh, and drop your questions in the comment and we'll do our best, as I said, to get to all of them. All right. So let me just press a button here because I need these comments to show up on stage in case I missed them here. So Jules, the 2025 sifted data is startling, right? More than half of the founders are burning out, yet almost none of them feel supported by their ecosystems. From your perspective, as a public health expert and coach, why is standard wellness advice failing founders, and what do we do? What do we get wrong about how stress affects founders?
Yeah, and just in answering this and who I am, I'm speaking from a place of lived experience as someone who was running a company for over 10 years in the nonprofit space, and I burned out. And so I know what that feels like. And then I've also taken time in the past couple of years of really diving into somatic work, and somatic is body. So we experience stress in our bodies. It's a problem that we can't just think through. We need to use our body to process that stress, that cortisol. And so everything I'm sharing is coming from that neuroscience backing, and the body keeps score. So these are issues that we can't think through. And I think a lot of times as founders and high achieving leaders, we try to think our way, we try to find the solution thinking through mentally. But with our nervous system too, the signals go from our body to our brain, not just from our brain to our body. So we've got to really lean in there. And I think a lot of the approaches to wellness um, don't involve the body with that trauma release, tension release, and the understanding of how our body and processes energy too.
Fascinating. So yeah, I did not know that it goes both ways. I thought it was just
Yeah.
one way, mind to body, but just saying it's body back to mind too,
Hmm.
which is interesting. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like it's totally unrelated. I'm seeing a lot more information around how the gut health affects like the brain, health and ADHD and all this kind of stuff too. So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, one thing that I learned recently, there was a peer reviewed study out of Columbia University that showed that when cells are exposed to stress hormones, that the energy exposure spikes 60% just to prepare for a threat. So when we think about the resources that we have that are finite, like time and energy, you only have as a leader, as a mom, as a parent and caregiver, you only have so much energy each day. And if an additional 60% of that energy, your body at a cellular level is just trying to fight that stress, it's pulling away from other areas. So that's why a lot of times when you're stressed out, your immune system goes down. Other areas, you might notice some white hairs coming out. That's because that energy at a cellular level is going against the stress hormones. So it's fascinating.
So
So
stress hormone being like cortisol. Is that what you mean when you say stress hormone?
um well, when you're feeling stressed, your brain releases a distress protein called GDF15, and that travels to your brainstem and it triggers that like sickness behavior. So it's going to shut down your motivation. It's going to create that fatigue and it forces like a cognitive freeze. So you might have noticed like if you're feeling really stressed out, or maybe there's some big decisions and different stressors weighing on you, it's harder to have clarity and different decision making because
Got
that's
it.
what's within your body. It's diverting that energy, and we only have so much energy that we
Right.
can produce daily.
Right. Now that makes sense. Okay. So I have another question for you, Jules. So you teach something called, and I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, polyvagal. Is
Mm-hmm.
that how you say that?
Yeah, polyvagal theory.
You teach something called polyvagal theory, framing the nervous system as a founder's hidden operating system with three distinct gears. Can you break down those gears for us and show us the first practical tool we can use to shift into a peak founder state, if you will?
Yeah. So with our body, we have these different states, and you probably experienced this throughout maybe in just one day. We're experiencing different highs and lows, different states of our body, mind, spirit. And where we want to stay is in a calm and connected state. And that's called the ventral vagal state. This is activating your parasympathetic nervous system. This is where we can connect with people, have joy, compassion, mindfulness. Like, this is where we want to be. And when we are applying these regulation tools, we're at this like really safe baseline where we want to be. However, when we have different stressors, they send us into fight or flight. So that's another area. So with that fight or flight, we are going to be more aroused with fighting, like we're going to have that panic, that fear, and like we're going to want to like move away from the threat. For the fight, it could be more of that like irritation that you're feeling. And then the freeze is a different state, a different gear. And for that, that's when you really start to shut down. So sometimes they explain this theory as almost different ladders. And so this other state, this other gear is dorsal vagal, and your body like kind of collapses and freezes as a protective like mechanism. So this could look like depressive symptoms, and just really where you're having more of that like brain fog and freeze and like, okay, I'm having trouble functioning. That's where like you're really, really burnt out.
Okay.
So with these different tools, like these are ways that you're going to be able to get back to the gear and the mode of that ventral vagal state where we're able to connect, where we're able to have that safety.
Okay.
So changing your breath is actually the fastest way to change your
So
physiology. Yeah.
breath is the first tool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how do you do that?
So we're gonna settle in.
Oh, are we doing this?
Yeah, we're
All
gonna
right, let's do it.
put these tools into practice right now.
Let's do it.
So, because I want you to know that you can use these at your desk in daily practice. So, some of you might be familiar with a box breath with 4-4-4, 4-4-4-4 breathing. What I'm going to share is an activation with the 4-4-6 breath. And so, whenever we have a longer exhale than our inhale, it signals safety and it lowers our heart rate. And that's what we want to do. So, right now, we're going to take a moment just to sit comfortably. You can place your hands on your stomach if you feel safe and comfortable doing that. And I do want to share that, like with these different techniques and somatic work, that this is not a patient provider relationship. These are tools at your own leisure and risk. And just wanted to share that as well, because sometimes as we tap into the body, as we move through and we're strengthening that connection, sometimes it'll bring up some things. And yeah, just wanted to share that as well.
Oh, yeah, we got to have the disclaimer, right?
Yeah, but simply
I am not a
acknowledging the
doctor.
feeling. Yes, I am not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
Yes. So with that, like just let your shoulders glide down your spine. Let yourself just get into a comfortable position. Begin to feel your hand moving up and down on your stomach with that breath. And we're going to start breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. So we're just strengthening that mind-body connection right now and wanting to really breathe, do that more deeper diaphragmatic breathing. That's why we have our hand on our stomach here. And we're going to inhale for 4, hold 4, 3, 2, 1, release. We're going to do that again. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold, release. One more time. Inhale, hold, release.
That feels awesome.
How do you feel? Yeah. And that
awesome.
took, less than 60 seconds. And you can do this proactively before checking your inbox or reactively after having a hard conversation.
I want to say,
yeah.
so I've been a lot more mindful of my thoughts and my feelings lately because I've just been working on myself a lot.
Yeah.
And I find myself, I'll be like in a grocery store and if I'm feeling anxiety or something like that, I would just focus on my breathing. But next time that happens, I'm going to do the exhale a little bit longer because you said that signals to the body that there's safety.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. I remember being in the airport with a group and we were all stressed out. And then we just started doing the longer exhale. And we co-regulate. That's part of the science of how we're built as well. So if the people around you, you're in this like crazy environment, like at the airport or about getting ready to pitch, like you got to bring that to the people around you. And the work that I do with coaching and the mini retreats, like helps train you up in that. So you're not being reactive to other people. You're not being a thermometer going up and down in between these
Mhm.
states, but you're able to keep
Mhm.
that calm and you're
Yeah.
able to be the thermostat. So you're able to say, nope, this is the temperature I want to stay at
Yeah.
no matter what's happening here.
I love that. So if anybody's out there listening or watching, if you did those breathing exercises with us, like drop in the comments. Let me know how that
Yeah.
felt. I mean, I did them with you, Jules, and that felt great. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So that's the first tip. You can do the breathing with the, 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out. Really, really good. Make sure you're breathing from your diaphragm. When you inhale, your stomach expands, not the other way around. So a lot of founders experience a kind of cognitive freeze. You sort of alluded to that a little while ago. Staring blankly at the screen when stuck on a massive problem. Completely hyper focused, but totally unproductive. I don't know anything about that. what, what tools can founders use to give the brain a hard reset?
Yeah. So one of the ones that I love is with bilateral stimulation. So for me, I'm always biking through the city. If I can bike, take a walk, you're activating these two. The bilateral is going from the left and right hemispheres of your brain. So you're communicating across this midline.
So just the
And so
pedaling is what does that.
yeah, it's like a refresh button for your mind. So
Uh,
this tool we're going to do together is with a butterfly hug. So join me right now, and those watching as well. We can do this a couple different ways. Feel what's comfortable for you.
okay.
So I'm going to interlock my thumbs here. So you're kind of making a butterfly. And yeah, you don't have to overthink it.
Oh, like this.
You can also just cross your arms and have your arms crossed and hold your shoulders. If that's feeling uncomfortable and you're like feeling too tight here, you can also put your hands just on your thighs if you're seated. So what we're going to do is just coming back to our breath. You can close your eyes, but we're just going to do some light tapping starting off, left to right, left to right. And just naturally, I'm starting to sway a little bit. You can do that however your breath wants to move, however your body wants to move along with this. Like I said, you could do it in your chest. A lot of times I just put a hand on my chest and one on my stomach for that connection to my breath and body. And you can even add an affirmation of, I am loved, I am safe. And with this, you can go harder with the tapping and really focus on that feeling of your hand back and forth. Or you can do a softer. So whatever feels right for you, this is your time, your practice, and your body. You know it best.
So something about activating the two different sides of the brain is which is signaling what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it acts as a refresh button for your mind. So it's like, and it's activating the amygdala. So it's lowering your
Amazing.
stress response and it helps to unlock creative problem solving. So that's why, like, sometimes when people are on a run or a walk, like that might be the time where you kind of get a download, or when you're in the shower or water also helps regulate.
So this is interesting and it makes sense. So I like to ride my bike to clear my mind.
Yeah.
And that explains it because I have both feet going right on the pedal. So it's
Left,
bilateral
right,
stimulation.
left, right.
Yeah, and that clears my head, which opens me to inspiration. I notice, so that makes a lot of sense. So good. All right, again, y'all, if you're watching this, I see y'all watching. Leave a comment. Are you doing these exercises with us? How did I feel? Like, what do you think? Drop a comment, please. Okay, so that was the second tip. The first one was breathing 4 in, 4 out, 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out, and then there's bilateral tapping here. Really good. So what about when we get hit with a sudden massive stressor like a lost deal or a brutal email from a customer or investor, and our bodies go into full fight or flight mode? How do we close that stress loop so it doesn't get trapped in our bodies, in our muscles.
Yeah. So your mind might register that, like, okay, this crisis happened. It's been handled.
Hmm.
But if you've been like sitting at your desk or like in that same space, like 10 minutes later, that loop, that charge of cortisol, that survival kind of energy, your body got that signal that there was a threat when you got that news, right? And it's
Hmm.
trapped inside your body and nervous system and in your muscles. That's why, like, the issue is in the tissues. So your body still thinks it's in a fight. So you have to physically signal to your brain that the battle is over and that you've survived. So, one of the ways that you can signal that, like, I don't need to fight anymore, like, this threat is gone. It's also a way of like releasing like anger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand, and these are isometric wall pushes. So,
Oh,
I know for you, you have some limitations with
yeah, because
like
I got
the corner you're at
microphones.
with the
Yeah.
technology, and maybe
Yeah.
folks who are watching have some limitations. So you can go ahead and grab a hand towel, a jacket, some fabric.
Or a towel.
Yeah, there you go. And so you can grab it with both hands and wring it just with
Oh.
100% of your physical maximum effort. Twist, squeeze, just really focus on exerting that force for about 10 seconds. So, do you have that towel?
I do.
Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to count you down. Keep exerting that.
Yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Maybe your muscles are shaking. Allow that shaking to happen and take some deep breaths while you're squeezing and release. So,
Oh,
how do you feel?
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's
you
so good.
feel that like that threat is over with that release.
That's so good.
Yeah. And I
That's so
know
good.
we're like kind of running close on time. And for me, like what I had prepared was the wall push. So you can do the wall
Can you
push.
show me? Show us. You
So
want to show us?
yeah. So just take a second to orient yourself to this moment. Be aware of your environment. You can yawn, shake. You might just start like just moving up and down, but just noticing like, okay, I'm here. What's around me? I'm safe. I'm present. And then what you're going to do is push against the wall. And you can almost think of it as like you're doing like a push up. Can you see me?
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
we can see you.
And I'm going to push for 10 seconds, just like how you're wringing that out for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
One foot in front of the other. I'm breathing in and out, and I'm just exerting this pressure. And I'm feeling that sensation of my hands against the wall. Maybe I'm even thinking about what relationships, people, things I need a boundary with and to push, allowing myself to push away. And then I'm going to release and just notice any difference if there's been a shift. And then I'm going to do it again with 50% of my ability. And
Okay.
then, so 50%, noticing how that feels in the body, switching what foot is closer, and just pushing that away, allowing my muscles to kind of fatigue and release. And just noticing how you feel.
Hmm.
So,
And
yeah.
how long you do that for? 10 seconds as well?
Yeah, just about 10 seconds. And yeah. So,
Amazing.
and this is, closing that feedback loop that we talked about, that like
Hmm.
you don't have to fight anymore. You can
Hmm.
also do some different releases with your hands as well. But
Hmm.
all of these tools really don't take long, and they're very simple. And it's sometimes like those simple things like we like to overcomplicate.
Overcomplicate. Yeah.
Yeah, but these are really practical things that you can do
Super
throughout
simple.
the day to regulate.
I
to
love
get
that.
back to that calm.
I love that. So I'm definitely going to be adding these things to the mix, especially the breathe. I was already doing the breathing thing, but I'm going to modify it to do an extended to make the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely be doing that. So I also carved out every day on my calendar 15 minutes to just meditate for
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes. And when I meditate, I actually focus on my breathing to get me into a meditative state, which is great. And, 15 minutes is great. Like, it's not a lot of time. It goes by really fast. And I
Yeah.
wake up, I'm not, well, kind of wake up, right? But just feeling refreshed and feeling like a reset. If I had any anxiety, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I've been doing daily. But like in the moment, like I think this is great. I keep this towel. You're like, do you have a towel? I was like, yeah. You're like, why do you have a towel? I'm like, because I have a podcast and
Yeah, but you
I
can
sit
do
at my desk.
fabric. Yeah.
Yes, I sit at my desk and I use it to keep the
Here.
ricocheting sound off my desk when I'm doing my podcast. So that's why I
Yes.
have a towel. But I will keep that in mind as something if I'm feeling like breathe. Okay, good. All
Yeah.
better now.
Release, release.
All better
Shaking
now.
is good too.
Yeah, so good. So finally,
Yeah.
finally, for the founders listening today who are completely overwhelmed and don't know where to start, what is one small productive pause or micro habit they can implement right now to start reclaiming their nervous system?
Yeah. I say move to heal. Like, and so just moving your body more and the awareness. I think a lot of us are carrying grief. We're carrying anger and things that we go into hyper productive mode. We dive into our work. We work longer hours and to kind of mask. But I would say, like, let yourself feel and acknowledge that. Um,
Mhm.
so I'm going to leave you with two. The other one is like going back to our tip number one with breathing. Like, just connect with your breath and do that longer exhale, and you'll see a huge
Mhm.
difference. So, yeah.
Amazing. So good. So how can people connect with you? They can go to julescollective.org. Is that a good way?
Yeah. And so the main offering that I have is mini retreats for teams, for leaders. They're in town and really accessible. And I have an event coming up the 26th at Do Not Disturb. And also with these mini retreats, we do contrast therapy. So we're going from sauna to cold plunge, learning how to recognize these signals in the body and doing that in community because we need each other. This is the communal process
Yeah.
of healing. We don't heal in isolation. And as you grow as a founder and leader, you're gonna find that you're gonna need different tools for
Hmm.
different seasons of your life and your own growth and development as a leader. So you can also
Yeah.
listen to my podcast, Healed and Whole CEO, on Spotify or Apple,
Hmm.
and there's some great resources there.
Amazing.
And yeah, also on Instagram, Jules Foster MPH.
Awesome. So there was one thing you told me that when you change your setting, it sets the conditions for nervous system resets. Is that right? Am I making that up? Did we have that conversation?
Um, well, when you there is a lot of research that shows that just going on a retreat and like
Hmm.
changing your setting as far as like getting out of your day-to-day patterns and mindset. So
Okay.
when you go on a retreat, even if it's just for one day, your body, your mentality is in a different space, ready to receive, and those neural pathways can reconstruct. So what they found is during a short retreat, even 2 days, with intentionality, that it can be more effective or just as effective as 8 weeks of cognitive behavior therapy,
Wow.
CBT. So
Amazing.
yeah, allowing our body to create those new neural pathways, and
So
when
we
you
can create
have those
new
different
neural pathways by
experiences, yeah,
going in a different environment. Oh, wow.
yeah, some of
Amazing.
yeah, and just like that facilitation with like
Right.
this work. But that's why a lot of times, like, if you're really able to be present, like on a vacation, and even like you shared that you were at Stone Mountain the other day,
Hmm.
you're in nature,
Yeah.
which has other benefits,
We were
as well.
glamping.
So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, just having that change of scenery, being able to
Uh,
connect differently to yourself and other people
Yeah. I felt
makes
much
a
lighter
huge
after
difference.
that. We were there for like 3 days
Yeah.
and 2 nights, and just a lightness after that. We had
Mhm.
a little cabin. It was overlooking a lake. It's just all I did was sit out there in the hammock at the chair in front of the fireplace and look at the lake the whole time and
Mm.
play with the dog. It was awesome.
Yes. Yeah. And then you were back and like ready to be the dad and partner,
Exactly.
like in such
Exactly.
a more like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Could
And
not.
as you're growing and scaling a business, like you can't do this work on empty. So you got to be present where you're at. So come to a
1,000%.
retreat or do a discovery call with me. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Yay. Thank you so much, Jules. We appreciate you for coming and sharing that amazing insight and wisdom with us. And hopefully, folks watching this will actually take the time to do those things, because during the course of all of our days, we have those moments, right? We can just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like reset and then keep the drama from staying in our bodies. That's just wonderful. So thank you so much for that, Jules. I appreciate you. Stand by. I'm going to pull you down, roll the outro, and then we're going to get out of here. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate y'all so much. Catch you next time. Later.